Ever feel like you're doing this teaching thing alone? You don't have to be. Shared teaching is all about sharing the workload through the power of collaboration and teamwork. Together, we'll walk through all the difficult parts of teaching and learn how to streamline our processes, fine-tune our time management, and develop a more manageable workload. If that sounds like a dream come true to you, then welcome to the Shared Teaching Podcast. Let's share in the teaching to make those dreams a reality. Now here's today's Shared Teaching. Happy New Year! Welcome back to the Shared Teaching Podcast for 2024. I'm your host, Susan, and you are listening to episode 110, where I am counting down 5 New Year's resolutions for teachers. I just love the feeling of all the possibilities that can occur with a new year. The idea of just fresh starts and big dreams really fills me with excitement every January. Whether I meet those goals or not is a whole nother story, but I love that you kind of get a fresh reset every January. So here are 5 New Year's resolutions for you that I hope will also make you feel reinvigorated for the new year. Okay, number 5, be more fun. So if you're like me, you kind of get stuck in your ways and maybe you're so focused on what's going on in the classroom or your test scores, it can really be hard to kind of feel like you have the space to incorporate more fun or just kind of like let loose and enjoy yourself more. But there's many studies that show students actually learn better when you do this. They learn more, they retain more, they have better memories of school when we inject more fun into our classroom. So if you think of your own school experiences, the ones that we truly remember are the ones that were the most engaging and fun, or that were most traumatizing. But let's focus on engaging and fun here. So growth engineering actually did a study and said that fun improves motivation and curiosity. I don't even know if it's a study, but they did some kind of analyzing. And with rigid curriculums and standards to follow, we all need to inject a little bit more fun in our day. So how about just splitting your class into teams and having them earn points for asking or answering questions? So one of the sides of the room is Team A, one of the sides of the room is Team B, and you just tally up the points throughout the day. And there's no big prize. It's just bragging rights for being the winner, right? So that is another way to just inject some fun. Something else that is super simple is to have partner or group work, right? Just this super simple way of getting students working with partners. My second graders were always overjoyed when I did this. And I just gave them a worksheet. We kind of went through like an example problem together. And I said, okay, now you can pick a partner. And they were so happy to like Zoom to their best friend and get to work with somebody. Now, you do need to make sure that you have set that expectation first, that if they're not going to be working on the assignment, then the next time they're not going to have a partner. And then you need to make sure to follow through, because when you don't follow through is when you have those classroom management issues. So make sure you set those expectations when you do things like that, and then allow the kids the freedom to enjoy that moment. Okay, number 4 is going to be to create organizational systems. So if you've been a podcast listener for a little while, you know that I talk about systems a lot, and especially organization, because this is what's going to save you time. Being organized at your home, at your school, it just saves you time. You're not running around looking for things, and you also just have a feeling of like more relaxation when we have less clutter around us. So one of the quickest ways to feel overwhelmed is looking around and seeing stacks of books, papers, materials, what have you, strewn around your room, right? And you're running around going, where did I set down those copies? Where did this go? Where did that go? And then you have the kids help you try to find it. nobody wants that, right? Because that's also like a feeling of embarrassment if like your administration happens to pop in and you're trying to give this awesome lesson, but then you're spending 10 minutes looking for the materials that you put somewhere and they were right there just yesterday, but why can't I find them today? It's because maybe you don't have a proper system in place. So I know we really want to have a Pinterest-worthy classroom, but I truly believe that not every teacher needs to have a space like that. It doesn't have to be over the top, beautifully decorated, hundreds of dollars spent on decor. It really doesn't. The kids are not going to care as much about those things if they're getting a good education, they're having fun with their friends, they're enjoying their teacher. That's what's most important. And when we begin to kind of scale back some of those things, we can see ourselves maybe feeling a little bit more at ease. So don't need to be Pinterest worthy, but you do need to have some kind of dedicated space for your things. So spend some time over the next couple weeks to kind of decide on a system that works for you and implement it. So to help you get started, I have several podcast episodes. I'm only going to name a few here. We have episode 87, Classroom Organization Tips for Creating Systems. Episode 74, which is Organizing Your Classroom, Creating Working Systems. And episode 103, which is Setting Up Student Organization Systems. You can find these all listed in the show notes. But if you are a visual learner, then you might want to sign up for my free Better Teacher Organization 5-day challenge. It's going to send you actionable video lessons direct to your email over the course of 5 days. It's all free, and it gives you my best tips with video, visuals, and me explaining them all. So it's really a great deal, and it's free. So no strings attached other than putting in your email. So that is going to be in the show notes as well. Okay, number 3 is going to be remove toxic negativity. So what kind of resolution would we have if we didn't want to get rid of some more negativity in our lives? And schools, unfortunately, can be really rooted in heavy negativity. And it's really hard being the only person saying positive about your job and your love of teaching when all you hear are negative thoughts from your colleagues and possibly even your admin, which I hope not for your sakes. But that is just the true version of what's happening currently in schools, right? Everyone's overworked, we're underpaid, we're frustrated, parents have become crazy. Not all parents, because I'm a parent, but there's just so much more pressure and so much more spotlighting on all of our mistakes rather than our good intentions, maybe, that it's going down a toxic rabbit hole. So let's set a New Year's resolution to avoid or remove some of this toxic negativity. And this might mean maybe you just don't eat lunch in the teacher's lounge because that's where they're all gossiping and complaining. But maybe you're not hanging out after school where other teachers are venting about students or their workload either. And it might even mean shutting your classroom door during your prep if you even have one. So look for teachers on your campus that have a similar mindset of yours. You might have to look outside of your grade level to find this sometimes. You're going to surround yourself with more positive people and energy. And if you don't have anyone like this on campus, you're going to look in social media for people that are sharing about teaching in a way that you positively react to. One of my favorites, and I met her this last summer, is Life with Mrs. Jamaica. And she teaches pre-K. I don't teach pre-K, but I follow her because she's just so sunshiny and happy and smiley and positive about her job that it just makes me excited for the world of teaching as well. And that's okay because I just like to look at her attitude and her posts make me smile. So find someone like that for you. And if it happens to be her as well, that's amazing. All right. Number 2 is to focus on professional growth. As teachers, we do a lot of professional development every single year, but why not set some goals and be intentional about it? My school district actually requires me to set a professional growth goal every year, but I usually have a hard time being intentional with it until maybe mid-end of the year reviews are scrolling around and I realize I kind of forgot all about it, right? I have so many other things on my plate that I didn't even give it a thought. With starting a new position this year, it's been a little easier to work towards my professional goal, but I always set an unofficial one for myself as well. It can be something like improving my mini lessons, increasing student engagement, or tightening my transitions to increase my learning times. If you're a new teacher, I suggest picking just one goal. On my recent episode 108, First Year Teacher Advice, Winter Edition, I talked about not trying to do everything in your first year. There will be a lot of things to try to juggle, and even seasoned teachers have a difficult time trying to do it all. It's impossible. So just one goal is all you need. All right, last but not least, my top one New Year's resolution is to just enjoy your class, right? Just enjoy your class. We are already halfway through yet another school year. And sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but the years go by very quickly. I can't even believe how many years I've been teaching now. And just like the old saying to stop and smell the roses, we need to stop and take the time to just enjoy being in the moment and enjoy our students. While they need to be learning, many of our students just need us to kind of love on them and enjoy them for who they are. Make them feel special and welcome for coming to your classroom. You don't know what their home life is. You don't know what they have to deal with when they're not in your classroom. And we can only control what we can control, right? So make them feel special, make them enjoy coming to school, and they will want to learn. Take a few minutes in the beginning of the day or the end of the day to listen to them talk about themselves. One of my most favorite things to do and to incorporate all year long is called good things. And the process of good things is something that I've talked about before on the podcast, and it is something that I've learned in a professional development. And it's amazing, and it only takes 5 minutes, and it's on episode 41. If you'd like to listen to it, it is Classroom Management Quick Win number 4, so it's at the very end of the podcast. This is a technique that truly only takes 5 minutes for your day, but it can make a world of difference in building that positive classroom culture and helping you learn more about your students and just enjoy your class and embrace the moments while they're there. All right, so let's go through those New Year's resolutions. 5, be more fun. 4, create organizational systems. 3, remove toxic negativity. 2, focus on professional growth. And 1 is enjoy your class. What New Year's resolutions will you set for your teaching this year? Feel free to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts and put episode 110 in the subject line so I know what you're talking about is your New Year's resolution, and then leave that for me there because I am very curious and I would love to know. Have an amazing, fabulous rest of the week, and I will see you next week for an all-new episode. Bye for now. If you've loved this show, then join me in sharing the teaching,
hitting that subscribe button,
and leaving us a review on
iTunes,
so we can be found by more teachers like you who are ready to start sharing the workload. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Find new episodes each week on sharedteaching.com. Thanks for listening to the Shared Teaching Podcast.